What's up, everyone? My name is Abby. I like to read, and I haven't washed my hair in an embarrassing amount of time. So today I'm going to do a book review of The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. This was the March Owl Crate book, right? Yes, it was in the March box. So like always, I'm going to do like a summary, spoiler-free, and then maybe get into spoilers, but I will warn you, of course, I will not just spoil, I will not do you dirty like that. I will always tell you if I'm going to spoil something. So this book is about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's sister, and it follows her and her journey and how she used to travel with her brother. Her father would take her and her brother around Europe, and they would travel and they would play for royalty, and that's how they made a living. And the whole story is about how she feels like she is just in, the shadow of her brother, and she is so afraid. Her biggest fear is that she won't be remembered. And so she and her brother have these stories about a kingdom they made up called the Kingdom of Back. It is guarded by this princeling character, and one night he actually comes to visit her, and he makes a deal with her. If she does several things for him, then he will make sure that she is always remembered. And so that's kind of where the story starts off. A quick view of my thoughts on it. I gave it 6 out of 10 stars. It was beautifully written. I can tell that Marie Lu, put her soul into writing this book. It just really wasn't my kind of book. I am more of I like the action-packed, I do like a little romance in my books, and this just really wasn't it for me. I was a little hesitant going into it, I don't know how I feel about books revolving around music, which is really weird because I have grown up around music. I played piano from the ages of 3 to 10, and then I played percussion from 6th grade all through middle school, all throughout high school, and even all throughout college. And so you'd think I would love a book about music because I connect to it, but I don't know, maybe it's because I've been around it so much that I want to read about something that I haven't been around. And also, maybe because I was kind of traumatized with playing piano. I hated playing piano, but I was forced to take lessons for 7 years, which ended up being okay because it set me up for percussion. But anyways, that doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't know, I just really couldn't get into it. I think maybe my biggest complaint about this book was the way that time worked in the book. This whole book takes place about, the first scene is when she's maybe 9 or something, and then it ends when she's 18. So like 9 or 10 years took place throughout this whole book. And you would read a chapter, and the next chapter, or the next like break in the book, it would say several months later. And so it was multiple times when it did that. So there was always these breaks in the book where months would go by, and I just felt so disconnected from the characters, because what were they doing during those months? I don't know. I will never know. And usually I really like books where it takes place over a short amount of time and you are with that character every step of the way. And maybe the next book in the series will be a couple of months later, a couple of years later, but still, during that book, you are in their life for all of that moment that things were happening. And then this one, I just felt taken out of the book. Like, oh my gosh, months pass, and obviously nothing happened in those months because we're not learning about it, but it just kind of made me feel disconnected and just kind of like taken away from the story. It was also very confusing because I never knew how old the character was whenever I was reading a certain part of the story. I was always like, wait, is she still 12? Or they're saying she's becoming a woman, but it's set a long time ago, so that could be a lot younger than what becoming a woman would be now. And I don't know, the time was just, it was just not my favorite. This is a standalone novel, which I'm honestly really glad for, because I always feel bad for not continuing the series. And I think if this was a series, I don't think that I would continue on with it, just because it just really wasn't my style. And I think I'm definitely in the minority. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. I think it's just really my tastes is just, it doesn't align with this book. It seemed a little more middle grade, and I'm really just looking for high fantasy, excitement, action, violence, like a little violence. That sounds weird, but like, not just, I'm not a violent person, but just like, you know, nitty gritty stuff going on. And this just seemed a little, I don't know, I guess, I don't want to say I felt too old for it, because, you know, I think many adults can really acknowledge that this is a beautiful book, but it just wasn't for me. So that's my opinion. It's beautifully written, amazing writing style, but it just really wasn't for me. So I gave it 6 out of 10 stars. Okay, so now spoilers. So if you haven't read it, you can go read it if you want to, and we're gonna spoil some stuff. So, okay, how do you pronounce his name? Hyacinth? 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 I don't know. I'm gonna call him Hyacinth. That's what I said in my brain. So he just really, I don't think there was ever a point in the book where I was like, yeah, he's a good guy. He just gave me weird vibes all throughout. And those little tasks, I'm not gonna lie, whenever she would go into the Kingdom of Back and was like doing all of the things for him, I did a little skimming. I don't know. It just, the world just, I don't know. It just didn't really interest me that much. I feel so bad because, you know, it's so beautiful the way she portrayed it, but it was just like, I don't know, I wasn't into it. And so there were so many points in the book where it's like, he would have her do these things, and he would say, now don't talk to the queen of the night or whatever, like under that pond or something, I don't know. And then don't talk to the ogre, and then just so many things that were red flags when she would actually see, oh hey, she was actually kind of nice, or hey, this ogre was compassionate. And there were so many things that were just like, red flag, he's not a good guy. But she just, I don't know, it was just one of those things where it's like, open your eyes, please, and just realize what is going on around you. Now, I'll give it to Marie Lu. I really did think that he was the Lost Prince. I was not expecting that he was actually the evil fairy that took him, or the mom or something, and that the Queen of the Night was actually the queen, and the Princess in the Tower was actually Nannerl, and then the Last Prince is actually Wolferl? How do they say his name? Because his name is Wolfgang, but they called him Wolferl? I really don't know. But that actually did really surprise me. I had no idea that was coming. That was actually kind of cool. So good on Marie Lu for keeping that, because sometimes books are so predictable and you're like, guys, we know she's the Lost Princess already. You know, we know that from day one. But this one I had no idea. The whole situation with Nannerl and her composing, it just really sucked. The women can't compose, they can't put their name on their music, or I mean, they can't compose at all. And so when she was writing and her dad found it and he put it in Wolfgang's name, that was really heartbreaking. And I felt for Wolferl too. You know, he's just trying to live his life and write music, and his dad is making Nannerl so jealous of him, and it's really not his fault. He's just good at what he does, and his dad is kind of pitting them against each other. I probably, one of the most frustrating things about this book was Joanne, the love interest that made no sense whatsoever. Not even a love interest. He showed up and was like instantly in love with her, and then wrote her letters, and it didn't even mention him at the end, because at the end, you know, she's with her husband and her kids, and you know, she's a lot older, but it doesn't mention the name of the husband, I don't believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But so, like, we're left questioning, you know, was that Joanne? I don't know his name. It looked like Joanne. And it just seemed really pointless for him to be in the book at all. It was weird. the whole thing with the smallpox and them trying to like isolate themselves, and honestly, like, hit a little too close to home with what everything is happening right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're doing that too. I can relate. So that was kind of cool. So I think that's really it for my thoughts on it. I didn't write a whole bunch in my notebook, just like one page. Yeah, I don't know. I really wanted to like it, especially because I went into it not seeming interested in it, and I really wanted it to surprise me. But I just really wasn't for me. And like I said, it's not the book's fault. It wasn't badly written. It just was not my cup of tea. So yeah, that's really it. Like I said, 6 out of 10. But I finished it. I kept through that sucker and I finished it. And this edition is so beautiful. It has these silvery pages. The notes are shiny in the tree. It's just so beautiful. What else is in there? It's got this map. I don't know if this is in the normal edition, but it has a map in the Alcrate edition. But yes, those are my thoughts. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up. And if you totally disagree with me and hate me because I didn't like this book, then, I mean, you can dislike it if you want, I guess. But let me know in the comments below if you like this book, if you agree with me, or if you disagree. Let me know what you liked about it. Because I'm sure I'm in the minority. I am a little bit picky about my taste in books, and so I'm sure a lot of people thought this was the best book in the world. I just did not, and I'm sorry. But anyways, that's all, folks. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. Hey, bud. Hey. Don't tear that apart, please. I feel like a babysitter. Yes, you're like a little baby. Oh, you got more stuck in your mouth. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Gosh, just girly things. Ooh, I almost got my hair on fire. That would have not been good.